I want to start this video by telling you a truth that many people don't realize, but that explains why so many people look at their own legs and feel frustrated. Many try to lose fat in their thighs, especially the inner part, try to tone, try to change something there, but nothing happens. Or it does happen, but so slowly that it feels like you're moving backward. And I know how this affects self-esteem, mood, and even the way you dress. Because I have watched people stop wearing clothes they loved simply because they couldn't change that area. I am Edu Rodriguez, and today, here on the EDU Health Tips channel, I want to open your eyes to a truth that no one tells you. The fat on the inside of the thighs is different from all other body fats. It does not react the same way. It does not burn the same way. It does not disappear with the same strategies. And if you don't understand why, you might think there's something wrong with you, when in fact the problem lies in the process. The first thing I need you to understand is that there is not just one type of fat in the body. There are three main types. There is superficial fat, just below the skin. This is healthy. It is a natural energy reserve. There is visceral fat, the one that is inside the abdomen, surrounding the organs. And this one is indeed dangerous, inflammatory, and silent. And there is fat inside the liver, which fortunately is the easiest to reverse. But there is a fourth situation, and this is the one that most complicates the lives of those who want to tone their thighs. It is the infiltrated fat within the muscle itself. And when I say inside, I really mean inside. It's like those marbled cuts of meat, full of white streaks between the fibers. That is fat mixed with the muscle. When this happens in your body, the muscle loses space, loses strength, loses structure, and loses the ability to burn energy as it should. This infiltrated fat weakens the muscle, suffocates the fibers, and reduces the number of cells that should regenerate and create new muscle. That's why so many people train, and don't see improvement. It's not the fault of the training. It's not a lack of effort. It's a lack of machinery. The engine is too weak to burn the fuel it needs. And I know this can be frustrating. I know many people look in the mirror and think nothing works. But let me reassure you, there is a solution. It's just not the traditional solution, the one you see out there with miraculous promises. The real solution begins with understanding that the body doesn't operate for aesthetic reasons. It functions based on internal priorities. First, it rebuilds. Then it burns. And this is the big mistake that makes so many people give up. People want to see weight dropping on the scale. They want to see their thighs slimming quickly. They want to see visible results right in the first week. But the body works from the inside out. First, it needs to recover the muscle. Only then can it access the fat stored inside. And only after that do you start to see results. I want to ask you one important thing. Stay with me until the end of this video, because if you understand this order, you'll never look at your thighs with frustration again. You'll look at them with clarity, and clarity changes everything. Now, let me explain how this infiltration begins. It starts when the muscle is underused. The less activity, the more fat occupies its space. When the muscle loses volume to that point, fat settles in even more. This causes insulin resistance in the area, weakens the mitochondria, reduces energy, increases inflammation, and makes the muscle incapable of burning what it needs to burn. And that's why I always say here on EDU Health Tips that there is no real transformation without awareness. Have you noticed how intelligent the body is? It tries to warn you long before reaching the limit. It tries to show that it is becoming weaker, more flabby, more painful. But we learn to ignore these signals, until one day, it becomes impossible to ignore. The good news is that the body also responds quickly when you provide the right stimulus. And the first stimulus you need is simple but powerful: movement. But not just any movement. It's the right movement, done the right way. The type of movement that most activates thigh muscle recovery is slow, controlled movement that stretches the muscle while it is under load. This is what we call eccentric movement. When you descend slowly into a squat, maintaining awareness of the movement, you send a very strong signal to the muscle. You tell it, wake up, you need to work. And it is this stimulus that activates internal cells that begin to rebuild the fibers. But I need to be honest with you, it hurts. The next day is usually difficult. But this pain is not injury. This pain is reconstruction. It's the body responding. And let me tell you something as someone who follows a lot of people. You don't need weight at the beginning. You only need your own body. You only need the intention to do it right, slowly, with awareness. And if you need to use support to climb again, do it. The most important thing is the descent. The command is there. But there is another thing that is even more powerful than movement: the time. Because muscle doesn't grow during exercise. It grows while you rest, when you sleep, when you don't overdo it. It is during rest that the body rebuilds. So if you're just starting now, don't do it every day. Give space for the body to respond. Reconstruction happens in the interval. Now that you understand the basics of muscle rebuilding, I need to tell you about another factor that many people ignore: nutrition. It's not about fad diets. It's about energy. Your muscle needs to stop living solely on sugar in order to use the fat that's inside it. And this only happens when you reduce processed carbohydrates and increase the interval between meals. When you space out your meals, you force your body to use its reserves. And guess where those reserves are? In the thighs. And when you combine this with movement, the muscle starts burning exactly the fat that's suffocating it. But I need to warn you about an important thing. In the beginning, you won't see changes in the mirror. And that's normal, because the first thing that improves is internal efficiency. It's the mitochondria, which are like the batteries of the cells. They are the ones that start producing real energy. And do you know what the first sign that this started to work is? You feel less hungry, less compulsive, less anxious. You haven't lost weight yet, but you lose the desire to eat unnecessarily. And that means the fuel has changed. And if there's one thing I've learned from living all this in practice and talking to thousands of people, it's that the body responds first in the invisible. Then it shows in the mirror. And you need to trust this process. Now let me talk about another change that many people notice when they start to regain the internal thigh muscles: firmness. Before the measurement decreases, firmness appears. The legs start to become more stable. You feel more control when walking. Your knees stop cracking so much. Your hips hurt less. And this is a powerful sign that you're on the right path. And since you're here with me, let me ask you something. Comment below, what is the biggest difficulty you feel today with your thighs? Sagging? Fat? Pain? Weakness? This really helps me to bring videos that truly address your issues. Now, moving on to the practical part, there is an important point I can't overlook. If you want to transform this area, you need to use the largest muscles in your body to your advantage. The thighs are part of a powerful chain along with the glutes and the posterior. These muscles are big energy consumers. And when you activate all of them, the effect is even greater. That's why uphill walks, long steps, climbing stairs, making wide movements, all of these make a difference. And you don't need to start running, jumping, or doing anything extreme. You just need to start. And if you feel like giving up, remember one thing. You're not trying to lose weight. You're trying to rebuild an engine. Fat loss is a consequence of a functioning engine. Another thing that makes a huge difference is sleep, because most of the fat burning happens while you sleep. If you have poor sleep, light sleep, fragmented sleep, you don't burn as you should. That's why so many people do everything right during the day and nothing changes. And when sleep improves, everything unlocks. And if you want a faster path, there is a strategy one use and recommend for those ready to take one more step: fasting for 24 to 48 hours from time to time. This kind of deep pause forces the body to recycle inflamed tissue, destroy damaged cells, and eliminate deep fat that doesn't come out otherwise. But this needs to be done consciously, respecting the body, respecting limits. Another powerful technique, especially for those with a lot of fat infiltrated in the thighs, is cold. Cold water activates internal mechanisms that increase energy burning. You don't need to immerse your whole body. Just keeping your legs in cold water for a few minutes makes a difference. And I know this scares many people, but cold is one of the most effective natural tools to accelerate muscle recovery. And before I finish, I want you to understand one thing that perhaps no one has ever explained to you. Changing the body is not about aesthetics. It's about function. When you restore strength to the muscle, you restore autonomy to the body. This means walking without pain, climbing stairs without fear, squatting without discomfort, living without limitations. And when you start living without limitations, your body also changes on the outside. And it changes in a way that lasts. If this video made sense to you and helped you understand what really happens inside your legs, share it with someone who needs to hear this. Send it to the family group. Send it to that friend who suffers from leg issues. Send it to those who have tried everything and think the problem is lack of willpower. It's not. It's lack of the right information. And if you're not yet subscribed to the EDU Daikas Desad channel, take this opportunity now. Because here we talk about health for real, with awareness, depth, and respect for the body. And tell me in the comments if you want the second part of this video, with practical exercises, explained step by step, the right way, without risk, and with real results. I'm here to walk with you, always.